Sunday service at the Big Bethel Church is a celebration. Devotion is shown through song, dance, and put simply, joy. It's the oldest African American church in Atlanta, established by slaves in 1847. The city's black community has traditionally been a backer of Democrats, and everyone we spoke to in the pews is supporting Kamala Harris. We're not seeing many Donald Trump church fans here.
Well, some of the reasons is that the church is about being honest and having values. And until we see some of that on the other side, because it doesn't matter what the policy, if you can't be trusted and if you don't have the lower people in mind, because we believe in faith, family, and doing things the right way.
The church is apolitical, not telling members how to vote, but encouraging them and those around them to make their voices heard.
So literally it's only been 65 years that all of us have been established the right to vote. So voting is a sacred privilege for us, and that's what we want to try to encourage people to remember, that it is a sacred privilege.
Pastor John Foster tells me this is a crucial moment for America. He believes it was a higher power that saw little-known Senator Barack Obama become president, and he sees the same forces at work now.
Now look at what happened with Vice President Harris. Is they were rolling along, and then all of a sudden then somebody said, oh, Biden's too old and he can't keep his sentences together and he's going to lose. And then out of nowhere, then Kamala Harris now becomes the nomination for the Democratic Party. To me, that's God. You know, in other words, it wasn't planned. And some of the greatest things that happened in our country were things that just came up like that.
Yet Democrats still have work to do when it comes to gaining the support of black voters, particularly young men. Polls suggest there has been a drift towards Trump.
I think there is maybe some truth to it, just because he has loomed large in American culture, and in particular American hip hop culture. You know, he's there are black men who are familiar with him and associate and aspire to achieve the successes that he purported or presented or projected.
One recent survey found that nationwide, 26% of 18 to 40-year-old black men plan to vote for Donald Trump, compared to only 12% of black women of that age. Traditionally, Republicans have put most of their resources in Georgia into the more rural counties. Well, not this time. It's about a week to go until Election Day, and Donald Trump is holding a rally in downtown Atlanta. The vast majority of Trump supporters we saw were white, but there were some African American fans. In 2020, Joe Biden won the black vote by a 75-point margin.
Return significant.
Mike and Tanisha suspect Trump will do much better this time, believing many in their community see him as stronger when it comes to the economy. Is it difficult being black Donald Trump supporters in Atlanta these days?
It's a lot of black Donald Trump supporters.
Not at all.
You'd be surprised. It's a lot, especially in the quote-unquote the hood, the neighborhood. Everybody support. It's a lot of people supporting Trump, but they're not going to tell you that.
Is there anything Kamala Harris could do to get your vote?
Not a damn thing.
Not at all.
It's over with.
No.
Track record doesn't speak.
No.
What they did for the last 4 years. Now, you could be stupid. If you want another 4 years like we just had, go vote for it.
The idea of Democrats taking black voters for granted is also a common one here.
Members of the black community are tired of being lied to. For 40 years, you've been voting Democrat, and what good has that gotten you? And then to sit here and have someone placate, that they're black, and they're really not. You can go down her family history and see that that's not true. So yeah, I definitely think that more members of the black community would definitely be coming out for Trump just based off of that alone.
So you think Kamala Harris is not black?
She never was. She is not. When you go down her family history, you see a lot of Irish, you see a lot of Hindu. You don't see anything that would be considered, I guess, American foundational black.
It wouldn't be the last time we'd hear that claim today. Kamala Harris has always identified as both black and South Asian, born to an Indian mother and Jamaican father. In a Cajun restaurant near the airport, a strategy meeting's underway. These three Republican activists know the race is close in Georgia and are fighting to ensure Trump gets over the line.
Is President Trump a tough sell to the African American community?
It really depends on who you're speaking with. I would say if you're talking to an African American single mom, yes, it's a very hard sell. Men, not so much. Young people, not so much. Old people, not so much. I mean, they all have their different reasons for wanting economic freedom that his presidency has brought to us.
The topic of identity, specifically that of Kamala Harris, comes up again in the context of Donald Trump's controversial comment from July.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
And those comments can't help sell him as a candidate to African American communities, can it?
I would agree that that does pose a problem, but I don't know her as black either. To me, she's not a black American. You know, I shared my heritage with you. It is biracial. But the black American story that I'm familiar with is you're a descendant of slaves, not a former slave owner, not Indian, not a person who has a tan. And that's who Kamala Harris is to me. To a certain degree, self-identification is crucial. However, I could identify as a lamp today and a chair tomorrow. Are you going to accept something that is obviously false?
Trump might well win over more black voters here than last time, but Democrats are confident they'll have the backing of the vast majority, potentially enough to take the state. History suggests they come home to the party in key elections, and many hope to see history made.
I think we'll move past this point, and maybe the future female woman of color candidate won't have the same sort of resistance to fight against.
In Atlanta, Ben Lewis, SBS World News.